Good
Hey.
morning,
Hello.
everybody, except to Emily.
And Yasmin.
And yes, and Miriam. Good morning to me and Logan.
Good morning to us and only us.
It's been a hot minute. How is everyone?
Pretty
Good.
good. Tired.
hmm
I know I don't have an excuse to be tired, but I am. I'm sorry.
Oh. Okay, so welcome to our January meeting.
In April.
April. What did we read?
We are nothing if not fashionably late. That's all I have to say. You know,
It's pretty on
organization
brand
is our
for
strong
us.
suit. You've always
Yeah.
known this about us, so.
Oops.
I agree.
Yasmin!
Sorry
Yes.
about that.
Your avatar photo is freaking phenomenal.
I was
You look
literally about to say that.
Yeah, holy wow. That's a great
Like,
photo of you.
yeah.
I know. It really is nice. It really is nice.
It's been a
too long.
minute.
It is
I know,
good.
and I miss talking to everyone, and I'm finally filming some booktube content. Finally,
You're blessing us with some
Hell yeah.
content. Emily.
we'll see. I don't know.
Ooh.
I I'm almost scared to start posting again and be like, "Hey guys."
No,
This is where
it's
I
so funny.
live.
Whenever I post on mine, because I've like my just posting schedule has just died. It's just died.
Mhm.
Every video I post starts with, "So you remember when I said we were gonna do 2 videos a week this year?"
That was
Yeah.
like such a strong resolution for you too.
I know, I know. I had so many hopes and so many
Yeah.
plans, and
Did everyone have like a massive reading slump the first like quarter of the year? Because
everyone I'm talking to has like.
I think I read like 2 books.
I have
Yeah,
not read
no,
anything.
it feels like that's like most people in our booktube cul-de-sac have read
I
like
love
2 books, you know. What were you
I
gonna
mean,
say, Kelsey?
No, I was agreeing.
Oh, sorry.
like I read like physical books. I'm on like my second one. See, okay, if Yasmin has barely read, then I know that I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I think I read like 1 physical book. I mean, and to be fair, I don't have a lot of physical books here right now.
hmm
But like even on Kindle, I read If This Gets Out, which is what we're here for. And then I also read like an indie author, like it was called like Forbidden Healing. They were on TikTok and they were like, "Oh, if you guys want to download my book for free," and it sounded good. And then I freaking devoured it because it was like less than 300 pages. And then like finally, I'm like on my reading slump, but I don't have anything to read.
Can you give me some of that energy, please?
I've
It's
read
rough.
one Aristotle and Dante died to the face of the world. When this gets out, or if this gets out, I mistitled this book in my list of books I've read. Gideon the Ninth.
Not if, when.
When, just
Should have been a
spoilers
quote.
alert. It's not a matter of if. Hair of the Ninth. That should be the title of this live stream. It's not a matter of if. And then I read the Gilded Ones, which
Was
is
that
the one
good?
oh, it is probably one of my, I would say it's top 3 young adult fantasy I've read ever.
Oh,
It
Really?
is no,
bad boy
you would we're allowed, am I allowed to cuss on your live stream, Kelsey? I forget.
Yes, please.
You would fuck with this book so hard. It is so good. It is okay. I understand that we're talking about this book, but let me divert this for just a second. If I could have just a minute of your time. The Gilded Ones is one of the best, like the best written and most like thrilling, but also beautifully character driven, like fantasy books I've read in a very long time. It's like a very new world. Like and I'm not saying this just because I've met Namina Forna, but it's so good. And like the
Hayden.
world is it's just the best world building I've read in years. And like also the history behind like all of their like the history is quite traumatizing behind it, but it's also It's so good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just okay. That's it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
It's not a Bible Club live stream if Logan doesn't freeze in the middle of a sentence.
It was like.
Oh no!
I missed Logan's glitch.
You're okay. You're okay.
Am I better now?
You're back.
Yeah, you're better
oh my
now.
God.
My sentiments exactly.
I'm sorry, Dennis.
It's like 7 a.m. for Logan, and he slept like for 3 hours.
I went to bed at 3 a.m. last night because I went to it was my new roommate's birthday, so we went to this cute 70s themed speakeasy in Hollywood called Good Times at Davy Wayne's. It's fun. There's a secret entrance that I can't tell you about until you get there. But so we were dancing to like 70 songs until 3 a.m. last night.
Oh my God, wait. 70 songs. I read Daisy Jones and the Six this year.
Is it good?
Oh.
It was good.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, I thought it was like working towards something like really great. Like, it's like, oh yeah, this book's going great. When's it gonna go great?
Oh no.
And like I didn't feel like it had payoff.
Okay.
But then I read If This Gets Out, and then I reread Beautiful Creatures, which I didn't like that book. So that's the only 3 books I've read this year. And I thought
Beautiful Creatures.
No, your mistake was reading Tolstoy in general.
I love Tolstoy.
It's still a mistake. My little sister Natalie is minoring or double majoring in Russian or something, and she has a whole class where they're reading all of his work, and I'm like, why?
Give it to me now. No,
Why?
I love me some WAP.
It is tradition.
You lucky duck.
I know. Yeah, I know. Yasmin, I'm like,
Yasmin, we did this for you.
Yeah, all of his work, like, yeah, pretty much. Like, I know they're reading War and Peace, Anna Karenina, and they read some of his other stuff. I don't live in the US anymore, so I don't talk to her very often.
When you said peace,
I don't know like what's going on.
What's going on? Do an update. Let's do an Emily's European adventure update.
Emily in Paris, more like Emily in Belgium.
Oh my God. I'm just glad that it's a country where 99% of the population speaks English, like, more or less. But it's funny because, like, people assume that I'm one of them when they look at me. Like, I don't like stick out necessarily. And it's funny because, like, Hugo and I will be like in a store and it'll be for me. Like, I needed to get a new phone and we were buying a phone. And the man behind the counter was looking at me dead in the eye, and I did not understand a single word he said. And then, like, he's so like, I'm like, because I didn't want to be fucking rude. And then, like, he finishes talking, and then Hugo just turns to me, and in like flat English is like, okay, so here's what he said, and then the guy was like, oh, sorry, like, oh, you want angles? And I was like, no, it's okay, I'm fine. I just feel bad every time I'm in public. I feel like an imposter.
That's so funny.
You need both.
That's the mark of it's a good thing though, is that they're confusing you for a local, so that means you're doing well.
I suppose, yeah.
That's
so
good.
I'm happy. That's all good.
Oh yeah, Yasmin and I met during our hiatus.
Yeah. And didn't freaking tell anyone.
I imagine going out of country and not telling someone about it.
It will be worth getting up this morning if Yasmin appears in the background jumps into the background of Kelsey's stream. Like, this is what I need. This is what
my camera's all foggy.
I know, it got blurry.
What happened?
It does this, and I never know how to fix it.
Aw, Your
But yeah,
focus. It's
literally,
broken.
literally back when I was still in Switzerland, which is last year, Kelsey and Yasmin went behind our backs and fucking planned this meetup. And then all of a sudden, I legitimately thought they were fucking with us. Like, I
So
got
did
a
I.
picture from
I
Kelsey
was
in
like,
the group chat of her and Yasmin. And I was like, did she find a lookalike? And she's just trying to fuck with us right now.
is this incredibly good Photoshop or?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, we get a call, and I still like did not believe. I remember being on the phone, and I was just like,
Yeah, that was your face exactly. It was just so dead. You were like,
I was like, I didn't know, because I thought you were still fucking with me.
I
I
wouldn't
thought
do
it
that.
was still fake.
Yeah, no, because like Yasmin and I, before we got on the call, we were like, I hope they answer. Like, I hope they have a reaction.
Okay, I need to you were on you and Yasmin. And yeah, okay, which way am I pointing? You and Yasmin are on the short list of people that I will clock into break at work and answer the phone for. Because I was
Let's
straight
go.
up working from home and was like, I'm gonna take a 15. Hello?
Thank God you did. I would have cried.
Right.
Amazing. But yeah, that was an amazing, iconic booktube moment. Now, maybe someday I will make it to London, England.
It's 2
And
hours away.
I know. It's funny because like Kelsey being in England was technically the closest Kelsey and I have ever been in relation.
You drove through Georgia at one point.
We ended up not driving through Georgia because
How do you avoid Georgia? Oh, did you go towards like that way and then go through Alabama?
yeah, so we went through Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, which is my new favorite place.
Okay.
Oh, I
And then
love
we went
Pigeon Forge. I love Pigeon Forge
we
so
went
much.
to the Titanic Museum. It was my favorite thing in the whole world.
Oh yeah, valid.
It was an incredible day. Anyway, but then we went through freaking Carolina and then down.
You have to go
So,
through
like,
Georgia if you're going through South Carolina.
like we were not anywhere near Atlanta.
Oh wait, then yeah, like that's like 4 hours away. You're right.
Yeah, we ended up. Yeah, so it's Pigeon Forge. Yeah, and it's in Tennessee, and it's in the Appalachian Mountains, and
Pigeon
and
Ford. Pigeon Ford is the name of my new car.
but it's like, oh, Yasmin, you won't know what the Wisconsin Dells is, but it's literally like a tourist city where there's just like a bunch of weird shit and like museums and like dinner theaters and stuff. But they had the Titanic Museum there, and that I begged my parents if we could go because I really wanted to see it because I love the Titanic. And it was so freaking worth it. It was amazing.
Oh.
Yes, actually,
Oh
I would love that. We should have an Avengers style booktube meetup in New York, guys.
Wait,
Let's do
they
it.
have BookCon. They have BookCon.
That's true.
And,
We could
Y'all
do
Fest.
that.
They have what?
I don't remember. I think the last festival is like Y'all Fest. That might be a lie. But they have like BookCon, and that's where all the booktubers go to hang out. That's really trendy.
When is BookCon this
They
year?
canceled it for the past few years because of COVID. But no, Pigeon Forge. I love Magic Quest. Like I have like such fond memories there. God damn it.
I want to go so bad. I saw that, and we didn't have time to stop again at the Magic Quest. But I was like, "Are you kidding me? You get to be like a wizard and like run around. It's amazing. I have to go back." Aw, Kelsey, you're all blurry again.
I'm a little blurry. I don't know what to do.
But anyway, yes, Yasmin, please come visit, or I will come visit you. It'll be great.
Everyone come to Los Angeles, or I'll come to you. One of those.
I was joking.
What's happening?
I just flashed the camera the cow udders, and then it went back into focus immediately.
Almighty cow udders. All hail the cow udders.
Is this what Wisconsin's like?
Kelsey, have I
We
ever shown
haven't
you
yet to
the
talk about this book at all, and I'm so
Oh
sorry.
yeah.
Kelsey,
Catching up.
Kelsey, before we get on this book, have
Yes.
I ever shown you, because Emily saw this happen live, have I shown you the video
Cow
of
cabaret?
me me doing the cow chorus line?
Because we
Oh my
talked
God.
about that. That's a good segue because we talked about that in detail in our If This Gets Out stream, which was also written by Sophie Gonzales.
You
Full
mean
circle.
our the other one, the perfect on paper, or only that mostly devastated? This is If This Gets Out.
Oh,
Are we letting it out? Are we letting it out? Is
mostly
it getting out?
devastated.
Let's just let
I
it
tried
out.
to
It's a
make that a
matter of
smooth
when.
segue.
But fun fact, Logan, that song that you guys dance to that says like cows, we're da 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 cows,
Yeah,
literally
it's
would play backstage at the theater I worked at that summer, and I had to listen to it every single goddamn day of my life.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And it's funny because it's literally it's from a musical that Meryl Streep was in. It's the most random fucking thing.
I mean, you still never sent me a video of you being a cow chorus line member. I think you said photo, but I don't have a video.
And then, no, you guys don't understand. I was in the audience for that. They were handing out milk to people in the audience.
While doing dancing with streamers.
Yeah. Like, I was sitting there and they were just like, here, do you want a milk carton? And I was like,
we wanted the only thing they told us we could do anything, and the only idea that we brought that they said no to was we wanted at the end during the big chorus, like the big kick line that we had going with cows doing a kick line, we wanted a giant udder to descend on stage like Phantom of the Opera chandelier style, and they wouldn't let us do that. But everything else they said yes to.
oh. Sometimes I miss college. Like only things like that.
Only things like that. Exactly.
No,
it was
that sounds like a fever dream that I would love to have, honestly.
Kelsey, I think you would have loved going to school with us. I wish you were there.
I wish I was there too.
It makes it better, like coming from Wisconsin, like that shit is like everywhere.
Yes. Yeah, because you have the cheese, you have the cheese festival, right? Mm-hmm. The one, yeah.
That's like a lactose intolerant person's like dream. Yasmin and I should go to the cheese festival together.
Yeah. No, Yasmin, I totally agree because it feels like we went to college together.
It feels like, I mean, at this point, we've actually technically known each other for what, a year and a few months, right? Almost a year and a half.
Right.
Wow.
Freshman year.
Oh.
So yes, it is. I agree.
Oh, I love it. All right, so if this gets out,
I only have the dust jacket. I don't know where my book is.
Mine's an ebook, so I'm so sorry. Hey guys.
Somewhere.
So, if this gets out, should we
jump into Emily's corner?
Oh, I didn't prepare. Well, that's good because I never prepare. So, if this gets out, remind me of their names again.
Ruben and Zach.
Ruben and Zach, yes. Okay, so this is kind of like a One Direction fanfic. Mm-hmm. If the gay rumors turned out to be true.
Yeah.
And so basically we follow this boy band and there's 4 guys. I don't remember what the band's name is.
Saturday. And we're having this live stream on a Saturday.
It's as if we planned it. We didn't, but
and Saturday is like the hot shit band, and there's like these 4 guys, and all of the preteens love them, and it's Angel, Ruben, Zach, and what is the other guy's name?
Hold on.
The other guy was like one of my favorites too.
I can't remember.
Angel, Ruben, Zach, and oh wow, I stopped writing.
I can only remember the names of I can only rember the names of the guys from Four Town, from Turning Red. Which
anyway, it's all right. So there's like this band.
Not right.
I can't think of his name. I wanted to say his name was Jack.
John!
But that's John!
John.
John is the son of the producer of this band. And so basically, they are just finishing up their American tour, and it's like going really well. They're going to have a new album come out, and they are like bigger than they've ever been. And they're about to go on their European tour. Like, talk about, I was living my best life reading this book because they were literally in Belgium. And I was like, guys, guys. So they finished their American tour. They are off on their European tour. This is where things get spicy. So it's dual perspective here. So we've got Ruben and we've got Zach. And Ruben is gay, and he's not closeted within the band, but outside of the band, he's completely closeted. He is seen as like this like lady killer, and the publicity, people are trying really hard for him to be seen as like straight because they don't want any gay rumors happening with the band. And then one night, he and Zach, like something happens, a little spark happens between them, and Zach starts questioning his sexuality because he thought he was straight, but now he's realizing that maybe he has feelings for Ruben. And they are like best friends, and now things are kind of weird between them. And so a lot of the book centers around navigating like the press and being outwardly gay in a society where like their main group of fans are young girls, and they're worried that if they see that these two guys are gay together, maybe they'll lose a lot of their fan base. And so it kind of, there's also some other things going on that touches on like drug addiction and like paparazzi and like social media issues and stuff like that. So there's like a lot of themes going on here, but I would say like their relationship is kind of like the center of like where this is all spinning off from. And did I miss anything?
You said that beautifully.
Thank
That
you.
was
I can't
very
remember
well
their
done
names.
for
But I
having read
remember.
this book in January.
Yeah.
We did
Oh my God. I
We
can't.
did it.
Happy April, guys.
Happy April. My birthday's this month,
What day?
the 21st.
I'm just gonna add it. Don't mind me.
Yay.
What are your overall thoughts on the book?
Yeah, go ahead, Logan. You go first.
Huh? No, go. What were you gonna say?
No. You go first. I just spoke. We just had Emily's corner. I'll let you go first.
Well, I was just gonna say, the first note that I have in this is okay, so I love that they're talking about the way that straight men cannot talk about boy bands without being toxically macho and a bit homophobic, which is true, because if you listen to all of the criticisms, and even I was like, when One Direction was popular and Justin Bieber was like in his boy band phase, I was still very much in the closet. And if I even listen to things that all the reasons that I didn't like them at the time, even though I love them now, were internalized homophobia. It was a lot of internalized homophobia. There's so many things in here where they're like, it's a very interesting concept that they really ride the line with in this book. I really liked it. Sophie Gonzales and
Cale Dietrich.
Cale Dietrich did a really good job of like addressing both like the like hyper masculine aspect that a lot of teens have, especially at that age, and the internalized homophobia and biphobia that can go on. Like I very much enjoyed that in the way that it had a through line here, even within the boy band too. It was very good. What are y'all? Someone take a turn, and then I'll go on my next rant.
Kelsey, do you want to go first?
Yeah. So I had already read this book, and then I was on the street team for it with Sophie and Cale, and then I reread it, and I don't know. I think it was because I was in a reading slump, but it didn't hit as hard the second time reading it. But I still really liked it, and I still really liked like all the stuff they were able to talk about in this story. Like I really liked just the pressures of the music industry and how that can be a person and like drain them, like working in that. But yeah, I think it's a very fun read. I don't know, 4.5 or 4. I don't know.
I also gave it 4 stars. I think for me, this one didn't hit. comparing this to Perfect on Paper, like I feel like this one didn't hit as hard for me, and I think it, like for me, I think it's just because I didn't, I don't know, I don't know what it is. There was just something about it that I didn't find as relatable. I guess I thought that Zach and Ruben were fine. I liked Ruben more than I liked Zach. I think that Zach kind of fell a little bit flat for me. As a
That's
character.
funny because I related so much to him. Like this one,
Really?
this is my favorite of her books. This is
Oh,
the
really?
5-star for me of her books. Yeah.
I think like the thing for like with Zach, I think is that like I relate to his need to like people please. Like I cannot make a decision knowing that like someone is gonna suffer, and like I don't like speaking my mind like to people that I care about, right? And about like sensitive things or whatever. If it's harming me even. But I related to that, but other than that, I really thought a lot of the chapters fell a little bit flat for me. Not the story, not like the actual like important things. I think this book was just longer than it needed to be. Like I felt like when I was reading it, I was like 33% through, and I was like, how is this only 33% and I'm on page like, you know, like 200 something. I think it was just a little too long for me with what the story was. But I like the story itself, I really loved. I loved the relationship between the two guys. I loved the band relationship, and I loved the moms. Like when the moms descended,
I
like
love the moms.
But like, yeah, like that whole thing, I really loved the like family dynamics
Except
of
Ruben's mom. I'm not a fan of Ruben's mom.
Ruben's mom hit a little close to home, like just like the like, and Sophie did make a point of like have like saying like that kind of representation in parents was like very important for her to like convey in this book.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of.
So I think for me that was like the thing. Like I still give it 4 stars. Like it's a great book, and I will definitely still recommend it to people. But I think like just for whatever reason, it just felt a little flat at times. Like they had this opportunity. Well, I don't know. They. Oh no. Okay, sorry. Like I get that Sophie and Cale are making a point by. Like one of the main themes in this thing is like they're going on this European tour, but they're not allowed to do anything that they want to do. They're not allowed to like visit the sites they want to see. Sorry, I'm explaining for the viewers.
Explain for us too. It's been a minute.
Like I know one of the main themes is that like they don't actually get to do the things that they want to be doing, and that's like one of the main grievances for one of the main characters, or one of the guys in the band. But at the same time, like we were in this like really cool setting for a lot of Americans reading it to be like they're going to all these different countries and like cities that like people might not have even heard of and whatever, and then it was like nothing even happened while they were there. It just felt.
What do you mean? People were running into the street.
I did like, yeah, no, there was the running, there was that. There was also, I did the first date that they have where they escape out of the fires, where they escape of the fire escape. They had like a and they go to the place where Zach's parents proposed.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's like the closest, but I think I kind of enjoyed the way that I don't know. I liked the way that they like had the band management suppressing them to the point where they were not allowed to leave.
I see what they were doing. I just didn't love it. Like I totally understand what they're doing and like why they're doing it, and it makes sense. It was just a bummer for me, I guess.
Emily's reading it. She's like, why aren't they going outside the hotel while they're in Belgium? There's so many sights to see.
Funny.
I don't know. It was just I just like felt bad, I guess, or like it just didn't seem to be exciting for me as a reader, which is like that's just a personal preference. Like some people obviously like would prefer that, and I think that's just probably why this book didn't really hit it for me.
And I'm gonna be biased. I'm gonna be totally honest, just because this was very like the whole. It's like Zach's. While as a character in general and a personality, I would call myself a Ruben all day, any day. Definitely. I relate Zach's whole the like initial part before they're like their thing and such, there's all of these times where Zach is like in his head denying that he's bi, being like, oh, I just need a girlfriend, or like I just looking like these keeping these pictures of these guys doesn't mean anything and things like that. And when I tell you I did that all of high school, all of like I'm not kidding you. It's like to the letter the shit that I
Yeah.
was doing, like the how deep in denial I was in high school, and it's crazy. And also the like the it's kind of I appreciated the way that they, I don't know, just the I don't know. I really their very first night together when like because
Mhm.
like I guess light spoilers the way that they what like the spark is they're at a party and then they go home and they end up having it's there's only one bed trope and they're like
No.
best friends, so it's like two best friends in a bed just 4 feet apart type of thing, and then they start making out, so I guess not light spoilers, and then they're like, oh, is this something I feel? I guess it is. That's basic storyline is literally how I also finally realized I was bisexual. Like I'm not kidding you. So I'm gonna be
Mhm.
biased here because this is very similar to my own
Yeah.
experience.
Mm.
No,
Like,
it's totally I get
mhm,
that. But that's also why
mhm.
it, like, probably is a lot more like, you see it as a lot better than
No,
someone
that's
who's
what I'm saying is I'm not a reliable person
like
for this
Logan, you put
because
the bi in bias.
I like it, but that's because it's me, you know. Good
but yeah,
question. Why
no, that's
didn't they come see
totally
you, Yasmin?
yeah,
It was management's fault.
it was 100%.
Also,
Those
didn't
guys
like
were
that
bitches.
too.
Mm-hmm.
With family issues. Yeah.
I
That
Yes.
think
hit
the
hard.
family was really, really cool. And also like found family within like your friends as well.
I love
Mm-hmm.
the found family trope. That's why like I loved like the dynamics between all the members of the band. Like
Yeah.
found family just always hits so good.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
on the top of like Ruben's mother, like the stuff, like the way he had to like word stuff so carefully around her and like walk around it because he knew if he like said a certain thing that
Yeah.
it would like cause a shitstorm.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
like, oh God. And like no matter what you said, she'd be able to find something wrong with it.
Yeah. She nitpicks everything.
Yeah.
I also really liked the way that that was reflected in him, and that he was very like because there are those patterns, because there's those patterns that I've noticed that like especially again, this is bad, this is in my family, like my dad and I used
Hmm.
to fight a lot when I was younger because we are very very similar. Like it's really weird how similar we are. And then my mom and my little brother are like the same person, and they
Hmm.
will when they argue all the time, they get into it all the time, and when they do, it's like watching a mirror. It's so much. There's so many like patterns that like you just do. So it's I really
Hmm.
like that they
Mhm.
did that with Ruben, that like his not to the degree that his mom does, but he has a lot of the same traits that she does, and he was like I like his arc of being able to recognize that, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, you said it really
100%.
well.
Mhm.
Yeah. What else happened in this book?
Um
Um,
so I liked the bi boys on Reddit. Um I like the
yes.
Reddit things. I
Oh,
like
the
that
What?
streams.
I love that the two straight members of the band are the ones
And
that are
Jen.
getting shipped
And
the
Jen.
Yes.
hardest.
And Jen. And Jen.
John, that is what it's called.
Exactly.
Oh, wait.
Um,
Speaking of John, what did we think of Angel and John?
ooh, loved the exploration of addiction, and I also liked John's story arc of are they only friends with me because my dad's the manager? Do they only
Yeah.
like me because of that?
Yeah. Like
I
each
think
character had some baggage. It was nice.
I thought Angel was probably the most compelling character next to Ruben.
That's
And
true.
I think John suffered a lot. Like I really don't think we got enough time to like he and Angel would just kind of hang out and do their own thing, but it was always about Angel. Like something was happening with Angel. And so we never actually, outside of John's insecurities about his dad being the manager, I felt like we didn't get enough time to like learn about him and like
But the
really
book
care
is
about
so
him.
long.
And the book is so long.
Yeah.
Like we spent so much time. That's just me.
No, I really liked John a lot, and I do wish we got more of him.
Mm-hmm.
Me
Like, I
too.
definitely know what you mean.
I
Like,
wanted more of him interacting with his dad because his dad is so
mhm.
like
Passive
spoiler
aggressive.
his dad, a big part of this book is that the management company has like to an emotionally abusive level has curated these images for these boys that are not them and are like the
Mm-hmm.
direct opposite of them and are like suppressing every attempt to make them like Ruben has to be straight. Like once Zach a major the inciting incident is once Zach and Ruben are in a relationship, then they're told by management that for their own safety they have to stay in the closet until after the tour, and then it's just continuously like you can see that it's going to be pushed and pushed forever if you have to
Yeah.
stay in the closet,
Mhm.
which happens to men in the industry. I mean, we've ranted about this before. There are so many men in Hollywood and the music industry that are like in this city known for being bisexual, but they will never ever be out publicly
Right.
because management their careers would be done, even though it's
Right.
2022,
And they're
which
told
is
to be either straight or gay. Like you have to choose one,
exactly.
and you
hmm
can't be both.
One, and if you choose gay, your casting and your job opportunities go down like
Yep.
exponentially.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's really sad. But thusly, sorry, long story short, I liked the exploration of how John was treated like a product by his dad instead of a person.
100%.
And I wanted so much more of that. That's like my
Mhm.
complaint with the book is we didn't get enough of John's struggle, like of
Yeah.
John just yeah, I wanted more. So I
Well,
agree with
because
you.
like he was like the shy kind of member. He was just kind of he wasn't sexual in any way, but his dad was like making his son like the sex symbol of the band
Yeah.
to a lot
hmm
of like these kids. Like they talked about a lot like, oh yeah, John has to like go to the end of the stage and like move his hips around and do stuff like that and like and work the crowd because like that's what his dad wants him to do. And like imagine that coming from your parent, like the person who's supposed
Yeah.
to make you feel safe and heard and everything, just to be told like, nope, you have to go be this like sexualized symbol for this boy band. um and then Angel, who is like that, was then told
hmm
you have to ring it back and you have to be like our good boy, like you have to be
You're our
chaste.
golden boy.
Yeah, and
hmm
then I think ultimately I think that's a well, and they go into this into the book, but that's a big reason why Angel rebels so much because like he's basically being like all of them in their own way are being forced into these boxes, and it's really really sad.
They
hmm
made Angel change his name too. Wasn't he
Yeah,
Reese?
Oh
from Reese.
yeah.
Yeah.
Angel. He's like, I like my name. I want to be Reese, and it was so sad.
hmm
Like, and then
I
oh my god, what was I watching recently? Oh, I literally can't remember. I was gonna like compare it to something, and it's gone.
Oh, I feel that.
That's okay. Just about how like the industry expects people to be a certain way, and it's like you have to fit into this box. You have to present yourself a certain way because these are the people in which we are trying to like bring into your fan base and everything. And oh, I was literally this is so funny. It was the fucking Taylor Swift documentary.
oh, I
Miss
still have to
Americana.
watch that.
I haven't seen it.
I cried watching it. But
I,
basically, Taylor talks about how like with politics, like she was told her entire life, like you stay out of politics, you be a good girl, you don't speak your mind, you agree with everyone, uh and then people won't hate you. And then in the 2018 midterm elections, she decided to speak out against one of the people who was running for the senator spot in Tennessee because that's where she's from. And she spoke out against her because she was trying to promote this legislature, like that would be like against women finding shelter from like abuse or stalking and stuff like that. And like they were trying to change this legislature, and she spoke out about it and then got all of this hate. But how she was like, I should be allowed to speak, like to say the truth, and if I have like the ability and the fan base to help sway that and like convince people that their voices matter, like I should be allowed to do that. But how the industry doesn't let you do that. You have to dress a certain way, say the right words, or like you're done. So this like reminds me of that. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're good. I love it. I actually do think this is very. I have no idea. I feel it's the first one I've heard of.
Mm-hmm.
Of a boy band, yeah, but there's definitely been stuff about. I mean, Evelyn Hugo is queer celebrity.
Yeah.
Oh yes. No, yeah, boy band specifically, I think, but
That
no,
I
I
know
agree
of,
with
yeah,
you there.
100%. Yes, Yasmin, you do need to watch the documentary. I much respect, much respect. Like as much as people want to hate on her, it's like once you watch that, it's kind of hard because it's like she's worked for
Yeah.
everything she's done, and she is who she is, and
And
like
she's legitimately good. I don't know why
yeah,
people.
she's great.
I've always been a Taylor supporter. I love
Me
her.
too. Yeah,
Hmm
I saw her in concert when I was like 12.
Me too.
This is the one time I could see her in concert was on the Fearless tour,
I
and
saw
then
I
her.
saw
hmm?
her and Carrie Underwood like within the same like month,
Rough.
and then I didn't see any more concerts till I was like 18.
Yeah, I was gonna say that might be the last real concert I've ever been to. They're too overstimulating for me now. I can't go anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
but anyway, yeah, like so I definitely think it's applicable to um like I think it's real. Like what these boys went through in the book, I think is definitely like that's definitely what happens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Also, the aspect of the songwriting was actually very
Mhm.
realistic. As my old roommate was a songwriter, and she's in the in the industry and such, and the
Hmm.
whole aspect of like whether who's getting credit and like all the politics behind all of that and like
Mhm.
who's chosen to do what, like it was really cool reading this book and having her input in it because she's just the amount of things. It's funny, as much as I always want to complain about how like weird and hard it is like in the acting industry, I would never want to be a songwriter because they have it so much
Mhm.
worse. It's insane. It's so weird. Like, and even the pay structure is so weird. Like, you can, it's, I can't remember where the statistic came from, but it's very true in that, like, when you're watching a TV show, you can guarantee you can guarantee three things. The actors have already been paid and they spent it all paying their bills. Um, the um, the production team has already been paid and they're still making money off of it. And the people, the music in the background, the songwriters for that will be paid in 2 years.
Hmm.
Is because yeah, because there's like, especially when things are like when there's like it's like a back paying system when when things are released. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but literally like you're
Yeah.
paid, you get paid a specific amount, like, or you get guaranteed a specific amount in 2 years, and then you get how much ever else it makes in 2 years, and then you get royalties. But you have to wait when if you've written a song, you have to wait. It's like usually about 2 years until after it's released to make any money from it. It's
Wow.
so crazy.
That's crazy.
Hmm
Hmm. Ah, yes.
Ending.
The ending was I liked the ending. It
I
was
did
sweet.
too.
They deserved it.
They did.
Everyone deserved their little I mean, spoiler, everyone gets like a kind of a happy ending.
I really liked that they discussed the importance of representation for young people,
Yeah.
and I
Hmm.
really liked um I also like the legal aspect of it. That was a good
Hmm.
time.
Yeah. Oh, and then
Um,
John's mom, wasn't she like a lawyer?
yeah,
And
she's
she was
Yeah.
like,
like, I'm
I'm
coming
gonna
for my
sue the
husband.
shit out of your dad.
And then
I
they all
loved
made
the
dinner.
mom squad. The
Yeah.
mom squad was it. Like
So
once we
good.
hit that point in the book, I was like, all right, I'm gonna keep reading. I was so here for it.
Um, I something. So can we get into like? There's another weird specific that
Hmm.
this is just a thing that I really enjoyed that they had this. That this is this is very adult, but it's a thing that has made me so mad, and that just people, you run into it a lot in specifically with bi men,
Mm-hmm.
and that there's a weird standard that only the submissive person is going to please the, basically they talk about, there's a blowjob scene in this, and they talk about how it's like demeaning demeaning, and almost like there's this weird there's misogyny is rampant in the with queer men, and it makes me mad. But there's this
Yeah.
standard that this weird standard that you're less masculine and you're less masculine if you're pleasing your partner. And I really like how they talk about how fucked up that is in this book, because it's stupid that it's really stupid that, I don't know. And then of course, they cross the whole like who's the girl and who's the boy thing that happens all the time in queer relationships,
Mm-hmm.
where you're like, that's the whole point, is that one of those is not here. Um,
Right.
just saying, you know. Um, yeah, I just liked the way that they talked about gender roles a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
how weirdly a lot of the homophobia involved in the way that people talk about boy bands, and the way that people talk about um like the homophobia directed at queer male presenting queer people is almost
Mm-hmm.
always rooted in misogyny. And I really like the way that Sophie and Cale Dietrich fleshed that out in this.
Yeah.
hmm
Beautifully said,
Yeah,
honestly.
for
I forgot
real.
about that scene.
Me too.
hmm
Yeah.
It was, I read the note and went, what? Oh, yeah.
Ah! Ah!
It's not written nearly as well in this note, but I'm not going to read this note because it's not a Kelsey's channel standard. Kelsey has better standards
What?
for, for her
Higher
appropriateness for
standards?
everyone than I do. It's an after dark type of note.
It's an after
Um,
dark. It's not a 10 a.m. live stream moment.
Yikes.
no.
um yeah, no, I think I actually do think that that was explored very well, because I think in all of the books that we've read in which the protagonist is discovering that they're bi, specifically as a like male characters doing that, um I that's never really addressed, and it's always just kind of like, and I'm bi
hmm
now and I like this guy, and it's great and it's fine. Um but yeah, like I think you're completely right. There is a lot of like underlying misogyny that is underneath a lot of that, I
Oh
guess.
yeah. Well, and
Even
especially when I was
like
young, and like
Mhm.
like recently out and exploring and going through the first of my many hoe phases, the amount of partners that I had that refused to, didn't refuse to, but like there was just so many lines that they had about the way that we interacted both in public and in private, that were because they didn't want to be seen as the feminine one, and they couldn't be seen as the feminine one, they couldn't be demasculinized that way. And it was weird, it was really odd.
Yeah.
It makes me so mad that it's something
It's
that
like,
I'm
what's
realizing
wrong
as,
with being the feminine one?
no, yeah, and it's just something I've been realizing the older I get, that it's all a significant portion. Like I would
Yeah.
say 90% of homophobia is rooted in misogyny, because it's all against men giving into their feminine side, or male presenting people giving into their feminine side, and things like that.
Right.
Because that's one of the main reasons, one of the main drivers between, I would say, homophobia from straight men, is that it's you're if you are in a relationship with a man, then you are lowering yourself to the standard of a woman, is the way that they tend to treat it. If you really listen to what they're saying, if you
Yeah.
really listen to what they're saying, and
I mean, yeah.
I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. It makes me so mad. But
It's
mhm.
really, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Yasmin said it best. Logan's
For
speaking
real.
facts.
Apparently 7 a.m. is my ranting time. I'm sorry.
Well, no, and you know what? It's interesting you say that, because like I had a friend in high school and we were really close, and he came out as bi like sophomore year or something like that, and everyone started treating him a bit differently. He was a thinner, shorter guy, and like he is now in a lovely relationship with a woman and everything, but like because he was also attracted to men, like people started treating him a bit different. He wasn't afraid to act more, you know, feminine in certain ways, but like it was clear that people were like, they looked at him weird because he liked men as well. And like he used to make the joke that he had a crush on me and this guy at the same time. And like it was this like whole funny thing, but like people were like really put off by it. And it's just like there's nothing different about him. Like he's still himself. Like he was always like this, but then they were the things that he would do were now like seen as, you know, fruity or you know, things like that. And then it's interesting because like, I mean, Kelsey, maybe you can speak on this as well. Like when a woman comes out as bi, it's like it's still centered around liking men.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that's hot. Do you want to be my third? Like it's like a lot of that.
Yeah. And it's like when I tell other women that I'm bi or whatever, like it's normally like, okay, cool. Like if they're also queer, like they're always just like, oh, cool. Like you're also queer. That's great. But if it's a guy, it's always like, like there's always a moment of like, oh, okay. Or they're like, oh, like you just are like trendy now. Like, oh, that your sexuality is trendy. Like everyone is liking everyone now and stuff like that. And it's just, it's weird. It's weird.
And the weird thing is when a guy comes out as bi, it's still treated this way for me. And like I even give into it for comedy reasons sometimes, which I probably shouldn't, but I do. In that it's always seen as just a stop on the way to gay town.
Yeah,
so
I was gonna say that.
Yes, it's always centered around men.
It's society's view, well, American society specifically, but also society in general, is viewed and centered around attraction to men and your proximity to men, and it's fucked up.
Yeah. This conversation is just a great segue to talk about how much I've missed this club in the past few months, where we can read books that, you know, kind of like not normalize. That's a terrible way of saying it, but put more of that representation out there to make it more like, oh, okay, what do you mean it's not all about men?
And
exactly.
I think this, I mean, this conversation, but the conversation of being bi in general, also like, oh,
we miss you.
And you know, I fucking hate TikTok. I'm trying to get off it now because I was on it too much. But there was that discourse going around again recently about bi versus pan and how being bisexual means that you're transphobic, and how that is just not the case. And like it's I don't know. I feel like bi people are just getting it from left and right, like, or about how people were giving a lot of hate to books that were like, this is a bi main character, but they end up with someone of the opposite sex. I also think there is still a lack of, you know, bi people dating non-binary people, or even a non-binary gay person. I think like that's kind of the next step, and that I would like to see more of as well, because I think people see, you know, bi people as, you know, men and women instead of everyone, but maybe you have a preference, or maybe you don't, but sometimes you still take gender into consideration when being with someone versus someone who's pan. As far as my understanding of it goes, is that is just not even a consideration when you're with another person, right? Am I wrong?
See, I think it's different for everyone is the thing, because it's funny. I have a friend, a very dear friend, who we've been friends for like most of our life, who identifies as pan and I identify as bi. And we've had many conversations where we've both been like, so this is what, you know, because like my definition of me as bisexual very much does match the common colloquial definition of pan, but I, for some reason, just the word bi works better in my brain. I don't know why. And they have had the same thing where they were like, we have the same definition of it, but then they're like, but pan is the word that works better for me for some reason. I was like, yeah, right. And I was like, and I know there is a difference. I can't figure out what it is, but I respect that there is a
Yeah.
difference and fully support and believe, but I can't actually tell you what that difference is.
Oh,
Me too.
I remember.
You know?
No, I remember what it is. I remember what it is.
Mhm.
Bi refers to two or more genders.
Yes.
Pan is regardless of gender.
Yes. Mhm.
So like it is the same in a lot of ways. Like there are more similarities than differences, and I think people just get so hung up on the like bi people are transphobic, but that's just like not real. Like that's not a thing.
Yeah.
And I also think, I mean, the term bisexual became coined way before non-binary became a much more used language for gender and people. And I
Yeah.
think like people have just always identified as bi, and like because that's what it was, and like that's what they're comfortable with, and it's hard seeing the transphobia being like linked to it. And
Mhm.
again, like these comment sections of people just hating. I mean, like literally, people were talking about Perfect on Paper, and they're like, she ends up with this disgusting guy, and it's like, okay, whoa, like
I love Sophie Gonzales.
I love
Honestly,
yeah.
this is a Sophie Gonzales praise club. Honestly,
Oh, totally. This is a Sophie Gonzales and Hank Green love love
what if they
club.
collabed?
for real.
Two
Imagine.
Can you imagine?
Oh no, did I freeze?
No. Did
Oh
I
my god,
freeze?
you guys both froze on my screen.
Oh no.
I got so scared. I was like, guys, did I pull a Logan?
I missed you guys.
I missed you so much. Okay,
So,
can we talk some spoilers?
I mean, yeah, we kind of have been.
56
Go for
minutes
it.
in. What other spoilers are there, Logan?
So I knew I called that they would turn because they eventually do we want to talk about the ending, the
Go
turning the
nuts.
mic off and all that?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that scene. That hurt, that made me cry a little bit. That
Yeah,
made me
Wait, the
so
what?
when the
They
whole
turned off my
the
mic.
boys decide that they're eventually going to the boys decide that they're eventually going to come out on stage as like a rebellion because they're all so tired of the way that the management company is suppressing them, and like at this point literally will not let them like contact their families, leave their house. Like it's intense. And the boys go out on stage and they're doing like it's after there's been an incident, so they haven't been performing for a second, and now it's like they're like their return performance, and they have this whole speech prepared where they're like, I am in love with him, like we're bisexual, we're here, like all of that. And they turn like the management at that, because there's a list of things that you can't say. And in the beginning they're talking to this reporter who's a lesbian, and I love her, who like knows about stuff because it's kind of like the secret's starting to get out. And they like management jumps in and is like, you are not allowed to ask them about any sort of relationships at all, like how dare you. And then when they're at the performance and the boys start breaking from the choreography and doing their own thing, they get up and they start to talk about what's going on and start to be like, this management is awful, yada yada. Also, guess what, we're in a relationship. And management turns their microphones off in the middle of the performance, and I saw that coming from a mile away, but also loved the way that it was done.
Yeah.
I was like, knew it, but also happy that it happened.
Yeah.
It's just such a like, it's such a, oh my god. But then they do come back, like there's a wonderful like production person that gets the mic back on for them and is like, go right now. And I'm sure that person lost their job, which is really sad. But it was, were this a real thing? And
For the good of
it's
the
really good.
cause.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
That was a really moving moment.
It was so good. It was crazy. My one my other my only other qualm that I wrote, and now I remember it's in reference to, and now this is a two-parter. I'm very happy they addressed the existence of PrEP in this book. Very happy they addressed the existence of PrEP in this book. Because Ruben and Zach are like, oh, well, we can see each other and it's fine because he's on PrEP. My only problem. That's not how PrEP works. You both have to be on it. Well, not technically, but for it to actually safely safely like actually prevent you both have to be on it. It
Huh.
can't just be one, you know.
Huh. I didn't know
Hmm.
that.
Oh yeah. It's well because it will protect one, but it protects whoever's on it because you know, I mean, it's prep is like a commonly known thing by now, right? Do I need to explain what prep is to the people in the comments? I feel like
I
everyone
mean,
knows
I
what
didn't
prep
know
is.
what it was until reading
Yeah.
this.
Oh, okay. So prep is it's basically like it's like you take it on a schedule,
Hmm.
like birth control, except the hormonal effects aren't really as bad if you miss one. But
Okay.
it's basically it acts as a counteractor and it makes it 99, it's 99 point something percent of it reduces 99 point something percent of the chance that you will contract HIV if you have
Hmm.
sex with an HIV positive person. And it's really cool because it's like leaps and bounds. Like we're very close to eradicating AIDS through that,
Which is
um,
amazing.
which is incredible. There's also a medication called PEP that
Yeah.
is that you can take as it's almost like it works as like a plan B after the effect that it can
Oh,
like
okay.
99 point something percent reduce your chance of getting AIDS if you have like unprotected sex with a person who has HIV. The only
Wow.
thing is in this book they do something that a lot of queer people nowadays do, and that's the reason why like we need better sex education, is that they're like, oh well, I'm on prep, so like we're both fine. And like, yeah, if I'm on prep, I'm good, I don't have anything, and I'm good, I most likely will not catch it, and I most likely and it I there's like a 99.9% chance that you will not transmit it if you have it, and are like undetectable, which is like you don't show any symptoms and it doesn't affect you type of thing, except true undetectable is also you can't transmit the disease anymore, but that's if you're on
Hmm.
like medications. But in order for the other person to be protected fully, they also need to be on it, and that's a
Hmm.
mistake that a lot of the queer community makes. They also It only protects against HIV. It doesn't protect against any of the others. So I'm like, hey, still be careful. Um,
Yeah.
which a lot of queer people make that mistake. And I'm making that mistake right now, which is why there's a rise in gonorrhea in the U.S. Um, um,
Oh
it's
my.
'cause, no, yeah, it's 'cause, yeah, but
Oh my
it's really cool that that exists because we're
Mhm.
finally taking a step towards, and this is the first time that I've seen prep mentioned in a book, like ever.
Yeah.
Yes, me
Um,
I'm so
too. Yeah, I
happy.
didn't even know it existed.
hmm It's like it's existed since the first time I heard about it was 2016. I don't know how long
It's
it's
so
actually
new.
been in effect, but
Mhm.
Okay.
it's
Wow.
very new.
Just
That's
like
really
the way
Um,
amazing.
that science has been, focused on is
right.
very, really nice.
hmm
Well, I guess in some ways it's good representation because if people are using it incorrectly and then they are like, but also it's
Yeah.
scary because it's like if people are reading that and then they're like, oh, this is right. And it's hard
hmm
because like people really should be doing their own research outside of the literature that they're reading because like books are
hmm
biased.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's like, oh, what if they don't? But
You mean I
obviously,
can't get all my information from YA books that were published in January or December? That's where I go for all my sex education.
hmm That's all my
fair enough.
sex education, right?
All of it.
Yeah,
My
it's
Better than
very.
YA
Tumblr in
literature.
2012. Hmm?
I just get all my sex education from YA literature.
I mean, yeah, fair enough.
Emily calling me out with Tumblr and Twitter. Oh no.
I mean,
Uh,
let's be honest.
that's kind of what our generation was left
Is
with.
this
Let's be
is this
real.
book is this book still considered YA?
Yes.
I think it's new adult, but the ages of them
What?
are.
Because
Oh, I guess no.
it's too graphic, in my opinion, to be YA.
No, If This Gets Out is a young adult queer contemporary romance.
Yeah,
Because it fades to black with the sex scenes.
yeah, true.
I
They are.
suppose it does.
There's
Yeah.
details discussed afterwards, but they're not like.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the whole
Like,
commentary I was talking about is from a conversation after they have sex.
yeah, that's true.
You know.
I forgot, guys. I'm sorry. I like.
No, you're good.
No, it's good.
I
We
also
can add
wasn't
it
sure
for now.
because like I never know when they're like when the characters are 17 or 18. I never know if it's considered a new adult or young adult because
Logan,
depending they can be going in. It's because they can be going into college, and isn't college age stories new adult?
yes.
Because I'm like that's the age when people go to college. So I'm like I don't know.
Logan, you could have stopped at I don't know if the character's 17 or 18 because I just remember Six of Crows where you thought 16-year-old Kaz Brecker was a 42-year-old man.
Because of the cane.
I thought like the first like 200 pages I was reading them all as 30 or older just because I was like young people don't have these experiences. Young people
I was
don't.
the same way.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were 50, but I thought they were like in their 20s or 30s.
Like at least the TV show fixes that where they're like in their early 20s.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I gotta say I was reading it and it was so funny because like you read the things on
yes, I didn't know.
It like if you read the things on Goodreads, it's all these other teenagers who are like, oh, these adults think teenagers aren't capable and blah blah blah, and it's okay that they're 15. And I'm like, okay, fine, if that's what you want to read, that's fine. But I'm like, Jesus Christ, some of the things that these like when I was 15. I'm sorry, I could not be caught dead doing half that shit. So I'm like, I don't know where these teenagers are thinking that they're gonna pull off this heist or like whatever. And I'm just saying, guys, like, I get it. Like, I was a teenager too, and now I feel fucking ancient. I turned 24 this month. Holy shit. But like, I still couldn't do the shit that these kids are doing.
Absolutely not.
These kids are like, these adults are so stupid because they would never think a 16-year-old could pull off a heist, and they're stupid because they're 20 and old. And I'm like, all right.
Are we the adults that are now going, can you believe kids these days?
I love that silly little book.
There's nothing wrong with being 16.
No.
I can be a demolitions expert at age 14. What do you mean?
I can be an explosives expert at the age of 15. Like, I don't know. It
didn't make sense. I think the book would have been way better as a new adult. They should be 25.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yes, we are the dumb adults that they are referring to.
Yes.
At 24. It is disgusting.
I will say, I didn't believe the whole, even though I knew it was scientifically correct, I still was like, but I'm mature. I didn't believe the whole, your brain doesn't finish fully developing until the age of 25. And let me tell you what, we got T-minus 5 months until I'm 25. And there's just so many things that are finally connecting in my brain that I'm like, this would have been so useful 3 years ago. Why did you wait until now?
It's like 5 months away and you're just like, it's all coming together.
It's the meme, the conspiracy meme with the whiteboard, and he's like, no, guys, listen. I know. Like, if I could talk to my past self or whatever, it's like...
It's crazy. It's just
guys,
like...
I can't believe we're all so close to being 25.
I know.
For real.
Yeah.
I mean, Hugo turns 25 at the end of May, which is crazy. And I'm a baby. 24.
I know.
Almost 24. I'm just a baby.
You're just a baby.
You're just a baby.
That's so good. I'm 21 still.
Yeah,
Yay.
Kelsey's a real baby.
Yeah.
Kelsey is basically still in her YA era.
I'm still in my YA era, coming of age.
That's the difference is you're young adult and we're new adult.
Don't put me in a box.
Kelsey's like, yeah, no, I could be Kaz Brecker.
Kelsey's like, what do you mean we can't run an entire mob at 15? I'm doing it right now.
Kelsey didn't need a reason.
Logan and I are like, guys, my back hurts, and it's 10 a.m.
Exactly.
I wake up every day, and I'm like,
Dennis, you read Moby Dick. Like, YA era. Oh, that makes you like the really quirky like YA protagonist, though.
That's true.
You're not like other boys.
I was about to say that.
So
oh my god, we've been at this for an hour and 10 minutes. I have places to be.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
So, that was a great January book. Should we talk? Don't speak this way.
Should we talk about the February book?
Should we talk about our February pick?
Let's do
we
it.
Just do our April pick. Like
Our
we
April
should just go ahead, Kelsey.
Are we positive about our April pick?
I trust you. I forgot what it is. I trust you. Go for it.
I'm 95% sure. We're going to read Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. And I think it's really cute to read it in April. And actually, this was all very intentional on why we waited so long to do our January stream, because in April, the Heartstopper TV show comes out. So we're going to be able to read that all month and then watch the show at the end of the month. Maybe, should we do like a watch party? Should we do like a little Netflix party for the first episode?
Yes. I'm down. Let's do it.
Like, we're going to be able to schedule that.
We can try.
Find the time.
Hey, I no longer have an insane night job, so we're good. I'm a lot freer than I was before this.
We love to see it.
And like, if you want to stay up like a little later for it, and like Hugo can join.
If it's on like a Sunday or Monday, that's okay, because Hugo doesn't work Monday, Tuesday. So like I can stay up later those nights. It's just hard being at like 12, 1 a.m. when Hugo has to wake up at like 7. So
that's fair.
But yes, we will. If it's on a day like that, we can definitely do it a bit later. Yes. It's a graphic novel, and also for people who are unsure, you can read it for free
on Webtoon.
It's
free, all of it. And like new chapters just came out. Like the new chapters just dropped. But we will be reading at least volume 1 and 2. Like I would just say the first one, but the second one has like very good buy rep.
I'm through 4, so I'm on 5 now, guys. I'm on volume 5. So everyone, catch up.
You know what? I will. I haven't read any of it besides
Logan.
Let's go.
Logan, you know how
I was saving it for you. I've been saving it for you. I need
We were supposed to read it.
They're in Europe. Just kidding.
I was waiting until after this was happening.
So everyone go read it. It's great. But yeah, they go to France. So
this book is literally set in the UK.
I know, I forgot.
They go to France.
No, I'm saying, I was trying to be like, you know what they do? They fucking go to Europe, but it takes place in Europe. So
yeah, they're little British kids. It's like that.
They are.
It's fun. It's Logan, you're gonna get hit really hard with some, like you were talking about like your experience. I'm gonna read Heartstopper.
Good time.
Oh my god, just so you guys know, I saw Heartstopper in the bookstore and I had it like in my hands and then I opened it and it was in Dutch.
Heartstopper was at the bookstore. I went to the last bookstore a couple of days ago and was like, ooh, Heartstopper. But
yeah. They're actually really reasonably priced for a graphic novel too, because like normally graphic novels are crazy expensive because of the images and the ink and everything, and they were like 11 euros in the store, which is like nothing for like an actual like thick novel. Which was
cool. That's
Logan, you're gonna die, so you need to vlog.
That's a really good note to end the stream on. Like Logan, you might cry. I cried.
I will cry. If you cried, I will cry.
That's actually a good. It's a good way to put it.
A good parameter. Hell yeah, I'm ready.
Great. Well, this was really fun, guys.
Come cry with us next month.
Everyone read Heartstopper.
Everyone read Heartstopper. We'll be posting stuff on the Instagram.
Hell yes.
Maybe we can do the watch party on my channel. and I'll make you
Yes.
welcome.
Oh wait, no. We would have to do like links because if we do a watch party, like there might be like copyright.
Oh, that's true. Or we could like,
We'll
we'll
figure it out. We'll plan.
We'll figure it out. We'll plan.
All right.
We'll
Thank you
plan.
all for coming up at
Thank
random.
you.
Oh, I have a heart stopper playlist too.
I don't have one. Send it to me.
At Yasmin, drop it. Drop the link. Yasmin, drop the link.
I don't know what a
Drop the link.
playlist like.
Okay,
so-
I know.
We will.
We will. We know. We think Saturdays work.
Yeah, Yasmin, come over.
Work.
Come over, Yasmin. Be at the door. I'll send you my address.
All right.
Yasmin, please come to LA.
See you guys.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
I love you guys. Bye.